Welcome back to the channel USAX Coins. There are coins that pass through people's hands every day, and then there are coins that carry a story so powerful that collectors across the world keep searching for them, and one of those coins is the United States of America Eisenhower Dollar dated 1776 to 1976. A coin that instantly stands out because it celebrates an important moment in American history and at the same time has become one of the most talked about modern collectible dollars. And if you stay with me until the end, you may never look at this large and impressive coin the same way again. The Eisenhower dollar itself was introduced in the early 1970s to honor President Dwight D. Eisenhower, a leader remembered both for his role in World War II and for serving as the 34th President of the United States. And the dollar coin was also created to commemorate the achievements of the Apollo 11 mission, making it a fascinating combination of political history and space exploration. But among all the Eisenhower dollars, the bicentennial version dated 1776 to 1976 holds a special place because it was struck to celebrate 200 years of American independence, turning it into a true commemorative treasure that millions of people saved as souvenirs of that historic celebration. When you hold this coin in your hand, one of the first things you notice is its size and weight. Much larger than most modern circulating coins, giving it a presence that immediately feels significant. And the design adds even more to that feeling, because on the front you see the bold portrait of President Eisenhower, a strong and dignified image that represents leadership and determination, surrounded by the familiar inscriptions that identify it as a United States dollar. And the dual date 1776 to 1976 reminds everyone that this coin was created to celebrate a major national milestone. Turning the coin over reveals one of the most unique and memorable reverse designs ever used on an American dollar coin, showing the Liberty Bell superimposed over the moon, a powerful artistic combination that links the birth of the nation with humanity's journey into space, and surrounding this design are 13 stars representing the original colonies, making the entire composition feel symbolic, meaningful, and instantly recognizable to collectors and history lovers alike. What makes this coin especially interesting is that it was produced in several different versions, including coins struck for circulation as well as special collector editions made with higher quality finishes and sometimes different metal compositions, and these variations have created a wide range of values depending on mint mark, condition, and rarity, which is exactly what makes searching for these coins so exciting, because two coins that look similar at first glance can be worth completely different amounts. Condition plays a huge role in determining value, and this is something every collector quickly learns, because a coin that has been heavily circulated will show scratches, dull surfaces, and worn details, while an uncirculated example can still shine with sharp lines and original luster. And collectors are always willing to pay much more for coins that look almost exactly as they did the day they left the mint, which means carefully stored Eisenhower dollars can be far more valuable than the ones that spent years in pockets and cash drawers. Mint marks are another detail worth paying attention to, because Eisenhower bicentennial dollars were struck at different mints, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, and some of the San Francisco issues were specially produced for collectors in proof or silver-clad versions. And these special strikes often attract stronger demand in the market, especially when they remain in pristine condition inside their original packaging or certified holders. There is also the thrill of error coins, something that keeps collectors constantly examining their coins under magnification, because minting errors such as double details, off-center strikes, or unusual planchet issues can transform an ordinary coin into a rare and highly desirable piece. And stories of collectors discovering valuable errors in what seemed like ordinary coins continue to inspire new treasure hunters every year, reminding everyone that patience and careful observation can sometimes lead to incredible discoveries. Another reason this coin remains popular is the historical connection it carries, because the bicentennial celebration of 1976 was a nationwide event filled with parades, ceremonies, and patriotic displays, and millions of Americans saved these special coins as keepsakes, passing them down through generations, which means many examples still exist today but only a smaller portion survive in the high grades that collectors truly seek, and that balance between availability and quality is what keeps the search exciting. Collectors also appreciate the Eisenhower dollar for its affordability compared to some older rare coins, because it allows beginners to enter the hobby while still chasing coins that have the potential for significant value, and as interest in modern collectibles continues to grow, more people are rediscovering these large and impressive dollars. Increasing demand for the best preserved examples, and now comes the question that everyone always wants answered, the reason so many people begin searching through old collections and inherited coin jars, because a high-grade or rare variety of the United States Eisenhower bicentennial dollar dated 1776 to 1976 has been known in exceptional cases to reach values of several $1,000s. Just imagine that possibility, a coin that once represented only $1 becoming worth a remarkable sum simply because it was preserved, studied, and appreciated for its history and rarity, and that is the magic of coin collecting, the excitement of never knowing when a small piece of metal might turn out to be an extraordinary treasure waiting to be discovered. Some coins are so common that people never give them a second look, yet hidden among them are pieces that collectors quietly search for year after year, and one of those coins is the United States of America Eisenhower Dollar with the 1974 D mint mark, a large and impressive coin that carries history, fascinating details, and surprising potential value, and once you understand what makes this coin special, you may never ignore an old dollar coin again. The Eisenhower Dollar series itself holds a unique place in American coinage, because it was created to honor President Dwight D. Eisenhower, a leader remembered both for his role in leading Allied forces during the Second World War and for serving as the 34th President of the United States, and when the coin was introduced in the early 1970s, it also celebrated America's achievements in space exploration, connecting two powerful chapters of history in one design, which makes every Eisenhower dollar feel like a small tribute to courage, leadership, and discovery. By 1974, the United States Mint was still producing these large dollar coins for circulation, and the Denver Mint, identified by the small letter D on the coin, struck millions of them, sending them into banks, businesses, and everyday transactions across the country, and while many were spent and worn down over time, some were carefully saved, sometimes unknowingly, in drawers, jars, and old collections, waiting quietly for collectors to rediscover them years later. When you look at the front of the 1974 D Eisenhower Dollar, the first thing you notice is the bold portrait of Eisenhower himself, facing left, with strong lines that give the coin a powerful presence, and surrounding the portrait are the inscriptions that identify the nation and the denomination, while just below the date you can find the small but important D mint mark, a tiny letter that can make a big difference. To collectors who carefully study every detail of a coin, turning the coin over reveals one of the most iconic reverse designs of modern American coinage, showing an eagle descending toward the surface of the moon, clutching an olive branch, a design inspired by the Apollo 11 mission insignia, and in the background the Earth appears small and distant, reminding viewers of humanity's incredible achievement of reaching another world, making this coin not only a tribute to a president but also a celebration of one of mankind's greatest scientific accomplishments. Although millions of 1974 D Eisenhower dollars were produced, rarity in coin collecting is not always about how many were made, but about how many survive in excellent condition. Because these coins were large, heavy, and often inconvenient to carry, many were stored loosely or used heavily, leading to scratches, bag marks, and worn surfaces, which means finding one today with bright luster, sharp details, and minimal marks can be much more difficult than most people expect. Collectors pay very close attention to grading, a system used to measure the condition of a coin, and even small differences in preservation can cause dramatic changes in value, because a coin that looks ordinary at first glance may be worth far more if it has never been circulated or if it retains its original mint shine. And this is why experienced collectors often examine Eisenhower dollars carefully under good lighting, searching for examples that stand out from the rest. Another exciting aspect of the 1974 D Eisenhower dollar is the possibility of mint errors and varieties, which can occur during the striking process, and these errors may include doubled lettering, unusual planchet marks, or striking anomalies, and while such pieces are not common, they are highly prized by collectors because each one tells a unique story about the minting process and can turn an ordinary coin into a remarkable collectible. There is also a growing interest in Eisenhower dollars among newer collectors, partly because these coins are large, visually impressive, and connected to both presidential history and the space age, and many people who begin collecting them quickly become fascinated by the subtle differences between dates, mint marks, and conditions. Discovering that even modern coins can hold surprising value when preserved carefully, stories continue to circulate about people discovering Eisenhower dollars in inherited collections or old bank rolls, sometimes finding coins that had been set aside decades ago and forgotten, and these moments of discovery are part of what makes coin collecting so exciting, because the possibility of uncovering a valuable piece of history is always there for those who take the time to look closely. And now comes the part everyone is always curious about: the value that turns an ordinary-looking coin into something truly exciting. Because a 1974 Eisenhower dollar in exceptional high-grade condition, especially one that has been well preserved or certified, has been known to reach values of several $100s, just imagine that, a coin once worth only $1 becoming worth many times its original value simply because it survived in outstanding condition, and that is the magic of coin collecting. The realization that history, patience, and careful observation can transform something ordinary into something extraordinary. And the next time you see an old dollar coin, it might be worth taking a closer look, because you never know what treasure could be hiding in plain sight. Some coins come and go in everyday transactions without ever catching anyone's attention, but others quietly hold a special place in history and in the hearts of collectors, and one such coin is the United States of America Eisenhower dollar dated 1977 with the D mint mark. A coin that may seem ordinary at first glance but is packed with fascinating details, history, and surprising value. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why collectors seek it out and why you might want to check your own change carefully. The Eisenhower Dollar series was introduced in 1971 to honor President Dwight D. Eisenhower, a man remembered for his leadership during World War II and his two-term presidency that shaped modern America, and by 1977, these large silver-clad and copper-nickel-clad coins were widely circulated, carrying the story of America's past while also celebrating contemporary achievements, making them an intriguing bridge between history and modern numismatics, and the D mint mark, indicating that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint, adds another layer of interest for collectors who pay close attention to mint variations. One of the first things that captures attention when you hold the 1977 D Eisenhower dollar is its sheer size and weight, which make it feel significant in the hand compared to smaller coins. And the obverse features a striking portrait of Eisenhower himself, depicted in a dignified and commanding manner, with inscriptions around the edge identifying the coin as a United States dollar, along with a small but meaningful D mint mark below the date, a tiny letter that can make a big difference in the eyes of a numismatist searching for specific mint issues. The reverse design is equally captivating, showing the iconic eagle landing on the moon clutching an olive branch, a direct reference to the Apollo 11 mission, with Earth visible in the distance, and 13 stars encircling the design to represent the original 13 colonies, creating a composition that blends historical symbolism with a celebration of human achievement. And it is this combination of presidential tribute and space-age imagery that makes the Eisenhower dollar so visually appealing and historically significant. While millions of these coins were produced for circulation, collectors know that rarity is not always about numbers but about survival and condition, because most coins that were used in everyday transactions show signs of wear, scratches, and bag marks, while those that remained uncirculated or carefully stored retain sharp details, lustrous surfaces, and a look close to the day they left the mint. And it is these high-grade examples that can command attention and higher prices among collectors. The 1977 D Eisenhower dollar is especially interesting to collectors because of the subtle variations and potential minting errors that sometimes occurred, such as slight doubling, die cracks, or other anomalies that occurred during production. And even though they are uncommon, these errors are highly prized because each one is unique, and coins with these characteristics often stand out dramatically from standard issues, adding excitement to the hunt for collectors who enjoy looking closely at every detail. Condition and grading are essential in determining the coin's value, because a lightly circulated or uncirculated Eisenhower dollar with full luster and well-defined features can be far more valuable than one that shows heavy wear, and this is why serious collectors often examine coins under magnification, comparing details carefully, and in some cases having coins professionally graded to confirm their condition, which can greatly influence their market value and desirability. There's also a special thrill in discovering these coins in unexpected places, because many collectors report finding valuable Eisenhower dollars in old coin rolls, inherited collections, or long-forgotten jars of change, and these moments of discovery are what make numismatics so exciting, reminding everyone that sometimes treasure is hiding in plain sight, waiting for a careful eye to notice it. In addition, interest in Eisenhower dollars has grown among modern collectors because they are large, visually impressive, and historically rich, making them appealing both to beginners and to experienced numismatists. And as demand increases, coins that are well preserved, especially those with the D mint mark, continue to attract attention in auctions, private sales, and collector markets, further reinforcing the significance of taking care of coins and recognizing their potential value. And now comes the moment that everyone is waiting for, the part that turns curiosity into excitement. Because a 1977 D Eisenhower dollar in exceptional condition, especially one that has been preserved well or certified, has been known to reach values of several $100s. Just imagine that, a coin that once spent years passing from hand to hand, used in everyday transactions, now holding a value far beyond its original $1 face. And this is the magic of coin collecting, the realization that history, preservation, and a bit of luck can turn an ordinary coin into a remarkable treasure. And the next time you see an old Eisenhower dollar in a drawer or coin collection, it might be worth taking a closer look, because you never know when a small piece of metal could be hiding an incredible story and a surprising value. There are coins that blend seamlessly into everyday life, passed from hand to hand, used for shopping, bus rides, or vending machines, and then there are coins that quietly hold a piece of history, a story, and a potential treasure for those who take a closer look. And one of those fascinating coins is the United States of America Eisenhower dollar dated 1978 with the D mint mark. A coin that might seem ordinary at first glance but has captured the attention of collectors for decades and continues to do so today. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why this coin is worth more than just $1 and why it deserves a second look if you come across it in your collection or change. The Eisenhower Dollar series itself is a unique chapter in American coinage, first introduced in 1971 to honor President Dwight D. Eisenhower, a man remembered for his leadership during World War II and as the 34th President of the United States, a figure who left a lasting impact on American history. And by 1978, these coins were firmly established in circulation, representing both the legacy of a revered president and the spirit of a modern nation, bridging history and contemporary life in a way that makes them appealing to collectors of all levels, from beginners to seasoned numismatists. When you hold a 1978 D Eisenhower dollar, the first thing that strikes you is its impressive size and weight. Larger and heavier than most coins in circulation, which gives it a sense of importance and presence, and the obverse features a bold, dignified portrait of Eisenhower, captured with sharp lines that convey leadership and strength, while inscriptions around the edge identify the coin as a United States dollar, and the small but significant D mint mark, located just below the date, indicates that it was struck at the Denver Mint, a detail that can make a huge difference for collectors tracking mint variations and specific issues. The reverse design is equally memorable and striking, showing the eagle descending toward the moon while clutching an olive branch, inspired by the Apollo 11 mission insignia, with Earth appearing in the background, and 13 stars encircling the design to represent the original 13 colonies, blending historical symbolism with a celebration of one of mankind's greatest achievements in space exploration, and giving the coin a level of artistry and significance that goes far beyond its simple face value. Even though millions of 1978 D Eisenhower dollars were produced, collectors know that rarity is about more than just numbers. It is about condition, survival, and uniqueness, because most coins used in everyday life suffer scratches, scuffs, and wear over time, and only a small percentage remain in high-grade, uncirculated condition with original luster intact. And it is these carefully preserved examples that attract attention in auctions and collector markets, sometimes commanding surprisingly high prices. Condition and grading play a critical role in establishing the coin's value, because even small differences in surface quality, strike clarity, and overall preservation can have a dramatic effect on what collectors are willing to pay. And coins that have been carefully stored, maintained, or professionally graded can stand out as exceptional examples, making them highly desirable and a prime target for collectors looking for the best specimens to add to their collections. the 1978 Eisenhower dollar also attracts interest because of potential minting errors and variations, which can occur during production, such as doubled letters, misaligned strikes, or planchet anomalies, and while such coins are not common, they are highly sought after because each one is unique, turning an ordinary coin into a rare collectible with its own story, and collectors actively search through coin rolls and collections hoping to find these special variations that set a coin apart from the millions of standard issues. Another reason this coin remains popular is its combination of historical significance, size, and visual appeal, making it a favorite among both beginner and experienced collectors, because it connects them to American history, presidential legacy, and the space age all at once, while also offering the thrill of hunting for coins in excellent condition or with rare characteristics. And as interest in modern collectible coins grows, well-preserved examples continue to attract higher demand and attention. Collectors have shared countless stories of finding Eisenhower dollars in forgotten drawers, old coin rolls, or inherited collections, sometimes discovering high-grade examples or rare variations that had been overlooked for decades. And these moments of discovery are part of what makes coin collecting such an exciting hobby, because the possibility of uncovering a valuable coin is always there for those who take the time to look carefully and appreciate the history behind each piece. And now comes the part everyone is curious about, the moment that transforms curiosity into excitement, because a 1978 Eisenhower dollar in exceptional uncirculated condition, especially one that has been well preserved or professionally certified, has been known to reach values of several $100s. Just imagine that, a coin that was once simply a dollar in circulation now holding value far beyond its face, a tangible piece of history that rewards careful preservation, attention to detail, and the thrill of collecting. And this is the magic of the Eisenhower Dollar series, reminding us that even the coins we pass by every day can sometimes hide incredible stories and surprising worth, and that the next time you see an old dollar coin, it might be worth a second look, because you never know what treasure could be hiding in your collection.